Hey there, YouTube. Just covering the view count. Yes, I am on my laptop. I do not want to be. I mean, I always want to be on my laptop, but honestly, not really that much right now. Today is Friday the 13th, and as quite often, I am having some pretty bad luck or just bad things going on in my world. Nothing new there. I did want to be doing a stream today for Friday the 13th. I definitely did want to do, a stream today. I was saying that last night in the video that I did before I went to the gym last night, how I really wanted to come on today. However, I did not intend or want to be coming on like this from my laptop. There is a little story with that. Well, I guess I'll also start this off with saying that, yes, for anybody that doesn't already know, this is my first time doing a stream on YouTube from the apartment that I stay at. It's not my apartment, it's my landlord's apartment, which is why I put that in the title. First stream from my landlord's apartment. So I'm not comfortable here. I've mentioned before on my channel in other videos, I've mentioned possibly doing a stream like this from this apartment. However, I honestly did not actually really want to do it. This honestly right now reminds me of webcamming, which, me being a stripper, I am in the adult industry. I have been on webcamming sites before, and I have had terrifying, horrendous results with that as well. I talk a lot in my channel about how much I struggle being a stripper. I also have had bad experiences being on adult websites before. That's not to say anything bad about the adult industry itself or, about the websites that I've been on with that or about the club that I work at. I think there's really great things about all of those things. I think there's the websites that I've been on, the club that I work at, the adult industry in general. I have also had great experiences as well. And I think there's also great things to be said for, again, all of that stuff. However, overall, with the situation that I'm in right now and that I've been in for a while, my financial struggles, my mental health, my physical health, just all of the struggles that I have had and that I continue to have overall, for me personally, I have had a lot of that seems to be the overriding kind of feel that I've gotten so far. So far, but also for quite a while now. Yeah, I'll just be honest, I don't feel comfortable doing this right now. I didn't bother to put my wig on. Normally in my videos usually when I do my YouTube videos, I do them from my car. Usually, always, every single video that I've done, I've been wearing my wigs, which I am not doing right now. This is just me in the apartment that I stay at. I covered it's very cold in here. I've mentioned in a lot of my other videos that I do not have the heat on in this apartment. This has been my 4th year and my 4th winter without having the heat on. Today is March 13th, again, Friday the 13th. So, lately we've been having some better weather. It's been feeling a little bit warmer some days, a lot less freezing, which is obviously wonderful. However, the past 24 hours, so yeah, like most of yesterday and last night, it was very, very windy. And where my windows are in this apartment, not my windows, where the windows are in this apartment, they are facing west. They're on the west side of the building, so that's where the wind usually blows from, and so it was very, very windy, yesterday and last night, and with it being so windy, the wind was blowing directly into the windows from the west. Yeah, it was blowing from the west direction, so when that happens like that, it will drastically lower the temperature in this, room, in this apartment. So right now I'm quite cold. I would have wanted to try to wear like a nicer outfit for this stream, especially being my first stream from this apartment. However, again, it is very cold in here. And I covered the sweatshirt kind of hoodie thing that I'm wearing with this piece of paper because underneath this piece of paper is a pot leaf. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I feel like this world is basically Nazi Germany. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that either. Um, I feel like you're not allowed to say or do anything in this world in this day and age. Like we pretend like we are, but really we're not that much, it feels like. Especially post COVID. Like this is basically a free range concentration camp. Maybe not that bad, but it has that kind of vibe to me almost in a lot of ways, a lot of times. I don't know. I probably shouldn't say that. Then again, I probably shouldn't say most of the things that I do. I don't know. I wasn't sure if it was okay to wear something that had a pot leaf on YouTube. YouTube actually seems a little bit strict to me. Uh, Sometimes, especially with streamers that aren't like big time streamers. I feel like maybe big time streamers that are monetized and making money for YouTube. Um, or just, yeah, well known. Maybe they can get away with a little more probably, but you know, my channel is still kind of just starting off and smaller and probably more on the alternative kind of non-mainstream type of side of things, not monetized and all that. So I wasn't too sure if it would be okay for me to again just have a shirt with a pot leaf, but this is just the normal hoodie that I wear you know, in the winter. It's actually kind of cute though, because it has the Adidas logo. Type of it's like a knockoff of that, but rather than Adidas underneath it says addicted. And I did used to be very addicted to smoking marijuana. I don't know how to say that. Sorry. You guys like my coffee mug? It says awkward is my specialty. Oh, it kind of actually matches. I feel like the font on it matches this hoodie. That's interesting. I never noticed that before, actually. Obviously, of course, I noticed the text. I just didn't really think about how it matched this hoodie. Hmm. Yeah, that coffee is already getting cold and I just made it. So it's very cold in here. Anyway. Yeah, I'm not comfortable in this apartment and I haven't been for quite a while. Normally when I'm here, anytime that I'm not sleeping here, so especially if I'm in the kitchen, like when I make my coffee and when I have stuff to eat and stuff like that, or especially when I'm getting ready for work as well, or when I'm getting ready to leave the apartment, that's quite a process for me, especially with it being so cold in here for the winter time. I've talked in previous videos, I've talked about how I Part of the reason I'm not comfortable here is because I feel like my landlord comes in here when I'm not here, or somebody does apparently. So I have felt the need to shut my refrigerator off and unplug it, wrap an electrical cord around it, and lock it up. So with me doing that, like I have my laptop here. I lock that up in there. I put my clothes in there and my non-perishable food items in there. I put, just a lot of stuff in there. It's filled to the brim of just, I guess, what I would consider my essential stuff. Um, as much of it as I can fit in there anyways. So yes, that's quite a process for me to get ready. So and do all that. And when I'm doing that, uh, when I'm doing most things here other than sleeping, I will have the radio blasting. I just don't like not having background noise. I don't like this dead silence. Um, like if I were to stop talking like that, like it's just too quiet in here for me. And I do not feel comfortable. I can hear my neighbors through the walls, very thin walls. The people on the other side of the wall in this apartment unit, they seem to be there pretty much all of the time. And it kind of adds to the creepy vibe where the few times they're not here, or it seems like maybe they're not here, it's like when I'm getting back, it's usually on my days off from the club, like yesterday, for instance. So yesterday I went out, to the gym and I did a stream from my car yesterday. And yeah, when I got back, that neighbor next door was not here. However, probably less than 20, probably like 15, 20 minutes after I got back, they got back. And that's a pattern that I've noticed where, yeah, the few times they're not here, it seems to be like my days off from the club, and they pretty much seem to get back moments after I get back. Um, I don't know if that's just a coincidence. I hope that's all it is, but it adds to that uncomfortable, kind of just gross, creepy vibe to me. I just don't, of course, I just don't like that feeling. It makes me feel quite sick, honestly. I just don't feel comfortable here. I don't, of course, I'm thankful to have this roof over my head. Of course, I am. Absolutely. I am beyond thankful for that. However, I don't feel comfortable here. um, but I do try to be mindful to stay thankful for being able to still be here right now. Especially considering that other than this place, I probably wouldn't be able to afford anywhere else. So, as uncomfortable as I am here, I just try to think, well, enjoy this, you know, moderate to, at times, yes, it does feel kind of severe for how I am as a person, because of how I am as a person, and just the stuff that I go through and have been through before and continue to go through. But I just try to remind myself, like, try to enjoy this moderate to, well, rather severe, yes, at times, level of discomfort and uh, gross feeling, because it's only probably going to get worse from here, and after this, it's probably going to be being homeless. So it's kind of like if you have a puddle of piss, and it's like, well, at least it's not poop, because I guess a lot of times poop can be considered as worse or grosser than pee, like to clean up or how it smells or whatever. Pee isn't great either. It's still kind of gross and smelly and a mess to clean up. But, if you have if you have a new pet and they go number one or number two on the floor, say it's number one. Yeah, it's not great, but at least it's not number two. So me being here in this apartment, it's kind of like, well, it's uncomfortable. I have a lot of issues with it, but at least it's not as bad as it could be or as it'll probably get at some point. It's kind of the way that I look at America too, to be honest, although that's also probably something I shouldn't say, you know. There's, I would say overall it seems to be kind of in the crapper, like, most things these days, but then we're comparing it to other countries where, people get executed for breaking laws that are even more strict and severe, or, women can't people can't wear what they want or say what they want or do what they want. I don't know. I feel like yeah, so we're comparing a lot of times when people say America's so great, I think a lot of the ideas behind it could sound okay, but yeah, it's like, well, we're comparing this country to countries that are so much worse, so it's kinda like, you know sorry, I'm really tired right now, and I don't really know how to articulate that in a way that won't come across as probably offensive or bad. Um, I am thankful for a lot of things. I really am, but, I also struggle tremendously, and, um, I'm really only doing this stream from this apartment right now because the issues that I've been having on my phone with my YouTube app on my phone have just continued to escalate and, to where I guess I'm just not gonna be able to stream from my YouTube on my phone anymore, which is what I had been doing, um, since last August. Real quick before I forget, I just also wanna say another part of why I'm not very comfortable I don't like how I look on camera. I'm not comfortable doing this stream right now. I'm not happy about this, and I really apologize to you guys, for that. If I had I wanna think if even though I talk about difficult things and sometimes I am also not in the greatest mood when I stream from my car, at least in my car, I can sometimes or pretty often find angles and lighting that I like, where I like how I look on camera, and I feel more comfortable that way. I don't have to worry about my neighbor through the wall. Um, that's just where I've been doing my YouTube up until now, and I felt like I was other than all the issues I was having with my phone and my streams, I felt like I was getting into a pretty good flow with how I had been doing that. Also, when I stream from my phone, I was able the image that I got on the camera for my lives, it was the image on the screen that I saw was flipped around to where it was like I was looking in the mirror, which I like. I think that I look better that way. Also, it's just easier for me to work with, I find, because that's what I'm used to seeing, is when I look in the mirror, I see things that way. Whereas doing this stream now, the image is reversed, which I guess the upside of that is you guys can read stuff. So normally if I were to show something like this on a live like this from my car, the text would read backwards, from my phone in my car. Whereas I guess now the text reads regular, so you guys can actually read stuff if I show stuff with text like this or with font or whatever you'd call it. So if I were to take this piece of paper off of this top, you would see the word addicted, kind of in the style of Adidas with the leaf emblem. But I also, with this image being flipped how it is now on this screen with my laptop, it really does remind me of webcamming, which I have had rather daunting experiences with. I have a lot of almost honestly like PTSD from it. I've had a lot of bad experiences. Again, I don't want to make it sound like it's a bad thing in general. Other people seem to have great results with it, just like with the stripping. A lot of other females, people in general possibly seem to really enjoy that stuff and have had great results. It's just for me personally, overall, I've had a lot of dark, daunting experiences. So, yeah, this setup right now, the way that I'm seeing myself on camera, this is exactly pretty much how I would see myself webcamming. The main difference being with the webcamming, at least right now with how I'm seeing oh crap. At least right now with how I'm seeing myself, the camera image that I see is almost the entire size of the screen of my laptop. Whereas when I did the webcamming before, all I could see, it was still the same style of image where it was reversed around the way that I don't like it, but also all I could see of myself was a very, very small little window about the size of a deck of cards. So I really could hardly see myself at all like that. Anyways, I'm very uncomfortable right now. I'm very, very bummed out. I'm very upset. Thinking about not being able to do my YouTube from my phone anymore. Oh, but also before I get back into that, as far as why that seems to be the case. Also, I was mentioning the emblem under this paper. It's pretty much mid-March right now. At the end of April, so at the end of next month, that will be a full year of me not smoking marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever we're allowed to call it, maybe. Yeah. Up until this past year, pretty much, I had been a daily smoker, pretty much all throughout the day for like 20 years since I was 15, 16 years old. I think since I was 16. So that's been a pretty big thing for me. In all honesty, I would have wanted to hope that I would have been able to have some better results with that than I have so far. I wouldn't say that anything has really improved all that much for me with that. I really wanted to think that it would, though. And honestly, it hasn't. That's just honesty and reality, I guess. And I do try to have the guts and the courage to be honest and face reality, or what reality seems to be for me. Another part of that is I honestly don't know if I'm going to be continuing to do my YouTube with this. I was also going to say I have almost as many issues with my laptop as I do with my phone. So I am, of course, very anxious doing the stream for many reasons, many of which I've just mentioned. But I'm also anxious doing the stream on my laptop like this because, again, my laptop seems to be very compromised as well. Right before I had started the stream, my laptop was freezing up. I had to restart it a bunch of times. Certain buttons on the keyboard were not working. Oh God, oh God. I have extra tape with me right here, and just in case, but oh, man. I don't want to waste tape because I don't want to have to buy more. Every little piece of tape is so precious. It's just, oh God. Yeah, my laptop's no good either. Anyways, so with my phone, well, yes, I did a stream here on my YouTube from my phone yesterday before I went to the gym. I did pretty good at the gym. When I ended my stream yesterday before going into the gym, well, I covered the view count. So it says that I have 12 viewers right now, but I mentioned this here on my laptop. This is what I have to cover the view count. Whereas on my phone, I would also cover the view count on my phone. Well, with my phone, I would cover the view count with a rubber band. But on my phone, when I log off at the end of a stream, I have to move the rubber band in order to be able to hit the sign off button. And when I do that at the end of my stream, I can see how many viewers there are moving that rubber band. So when I logged off with my stream yesterday, when I moved the rubber band to log off at the end of my stream, it said that I had 7 viewers at first, and then it went down to 6. So I was like, all right, well, I'm about to go into the gym. I'm going to try to get 6 to 7 miles. And my time at the gym before that, a few days before that, I had gotten 8 miles. I was kind of torn between the 7 miles and the 8 miles. And the last 5 to 7 minutes of that workout, I did push it from the 7 miles to the 8 miles and really had to pick up the pace a lot in order to do that. So last night, it was kind of a similar thing. I got 7 miles and I was doing quite a bit of walking. Well, I did over an hour of the start of that. It's a 99-minute workout that I usually do on the treadmill there. I did over an hour of the first part of that workout at a pretty good jogging pace. And then I think around the 70-minute mark, when I had about half an hour left, I think it was between the 70 and the 80-minute mark. So when I had about 20 to 30 minutes left of the workout, I went from a jogging pace down to a walking pace. Because even though I call it jogging, honestly, for me, apparently I'm not really actually in that good of a shape, in good shape, or I especially for my age, I feel like I can do pretty well at the club on the pole and on stage, but well, I'm just getting back into the gym pretty recently. So especially compared to how I had been on the treadmill at the gym last year and last summer especially, up until recently, I hadn't gone to the gym at all this winter. So I'm just kind of getting back into it within the past couple of weeks, and I can feel that I'm pretty out of shape on the treadmill. So even though I had been, jogging for a lot of the first part of that workout last night, I was still very red-faced and out of breath. But also with me being out of breath, there's this smoke stuff used at the club that I dance at that I'm very allergic to, and I can definitely feel it compromising my ability to breathe and my lung health. I woke up this morning very stuffed up, same thing as yesterday. They've been using the smoke a lot more lately at the club, the shifts that I do. And I can feel it really affecting my lungs and my just overall health in general, unfortunately. And I could definitely feel that on the treadmill last night and just lately, it sucks. It does. Just another thing that there's nothing I can really do about, I don't think. Not that I'm aware of anyways. I've tried to combat that issue in various ways before, none of which really seem to pan out very well for me. So I wonder if I can just kind of tuck this into my pants. Like, can you just stay like that? It's like a bib. So in case my coffee dribbles, which I'm kind of surprised it hasn't yet, but there was this guy at one point in that workout at the gym yesterday. There was this guy that came onto a treadmill near me. It was towards the end of my workout. So at that point, I was mostly down to a walking pace. Yeah, I did the latter part of that workout. A lot of it was walking because I was pretty red-faced and pretty out of breath. I hadn't been going that fast. I had been going slightly faster than I usually do, but not that much. I think I was at a speed of about 5.5 for most of that first part of the workout, and then down to 5 for a little bit. And then, yeah, I went down to the walking. When I was down at the walking, there was this heavier set guy that came onto a treadmill pretty close to mine. And he wasn't super large. He wasn't like extremely heavy set, but he was on the heftier side, I would say. And I noticed he was close enough. I think he was like one treadmill over from me. And so I could see the display screen on his treadmill. I could read the numbers. And I noticed him getting it up to a speed of 7. Not for very long at a time. I think he was doing like interval training, it looked like. So he would go up to a speed of 7 for maybe a few minutes and then go back down to a walking pace and kind of like alternate like that. But when I saw him at his size and shape doing the 7 for a speed, I was kind of impressed and kind of surprised because but also kind of like, you know, it kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit because um not that workout, but the workout that I had done a few days prior to that, when I had been going to try to get from the 7 miles to the 8 miles at the very end of that workout a few days prior, I was saying, yeah, I really had to pick up the pace kind of last minute to go from the 7 miles to the 8 like that in that time frame that I had left with just a few minutes left. Excuse me. So in order to do that, I had to go up to a speed of 7, which for me, I hardly ever go up to a speed of 7. That's an extreme, extreme challenge for me. I would say doing a speed of 6 is even a challenge for me. I was able to do a speed of 6 for the entire 99-minute workout last summer, and I was doing that pretty frequently last summer. However, now me just getting back into going to the gym pretty recently after not going at all this past winter, um, me doing a speed of 6 for any length of time at all is very challenging for me. So a speed of 7 is especially so. That's like a real, real big challenge for me. Um, and yeah, even that workout yesterday, doing a speed of 5.5, I was winded and extremely red-faced, extremely sweaty, you know. Anyway, so when I noticed this heavier set guy doing a speed of 7, again, even though he wasn't doing it for very long at a time, neither was I. I was only doing the speed of 7 for a few minutes during the 5-minute cool down of the workout that I did, I think this past Monday. So a few days prior to my workout yesterday. But I mean, he didn't look that winded. He didn't look that red-faced. And I don't know, just lately me going on the treadmill, regardless of what speed I really do, I feel like I get very red-faced and very winded, which I don't like. I'm embarrassed by it. I don't like to feel out of shape like that. But anyway, but so my workout last night, yeah, I was walking a lot towards the end of that workout, like the last 20, 30 minutes, but I did still manage to get 7 miles. And I think like the last 20 minutes or 10 minutes towards the very end of that workout, it was kind of a similar feeling where I realized that if I had picked up the pace, if I had gone back to a jogging/running speed rather than continuing to walk, I probably could have gone from the 7 miles to the 8 miles again, which I did. I started to try to do that for like a minute or two, and my body just wasn't having it. I was just too sore, I just didn't feel like doing it. So I didn't push myself as much that time. And when I had pushed myself a few days ago to do that kind of thing, like to last minute go from 7 miles to 8 miles, me increasing the speed like to 6 and 7, the way that I had to do for that, even just for the few minutes that I did it. I was wearing like 3 pairs of underwear at the time because I was going to be doing a shift at the club later. And usually when I work at the club to dance, I wear 3 pairs of bottoms, as kind of like a preventative measure in case anyone tries to get too handsy. I've had people reach over the stage tip rail and try to grab me. So, just as a preventative kind of measure, I wear 3 pairs of bottoms. So with that, in combination with me doing even just a few minutes of that higher speed for that workout, I had gotten a little bit of chafing I have one specific spot on my upper right thigh that seems to be an issue with that sometimes when I do that kind of thing. Anyway, so yesterday, I didn't want that same thing to happen. the area that had gotten that little bit of chafing a few days ago from that is still kind of healing. It's mostly gone now. It's mostly all healed up, but there is still a little bit left, and I didn't want to re-irritate that. And yeah, I was just feeling very sore last night. So at first I kind of I was thinking about maybe trying to push it from the 7 to the 8 miles again, but I decided not to. I just went back down to a walking pace, and after the 5-minute cool down, when I just continued to walk, I did actually get 7.5 miles. So 7.5 miles, I was still pretty happy with. Mm. And yeah, also towards the end of that workout, for that cool down, I actually didn't walk for the entire cool down. I did also pick it back up to a jogging pace for a few minutes there in the cool down to get up to 7.5, because that was just a rounder number to me. It was closer to 8 than, you know what I mean, than it would have been otherwise. So 7.5 miles, yeah, I was pretty happy with that. And I don't think that I re-irritated that area on my upper right thigh that had been irritated from before. It seems to be still on its way to being better now, which is great. Anyways, back to the issues with my YouTube on my phone. God. All right, you know what I think I'm going to do? Just in case I brought this to cover this area, I wish I didn't have to do this kind of thing. I wish everything didn't feel so overly strict. Like, it really is ridiculous to me. I really feel like we're just not allowed to say or do anything in this day and age. It's really just... There it goes. It was gonna happen. I knew it was gonna happen. Oh God. Or especially for me, I feel like I'm not allowed to say or do anything, especially. But all right, I just can't deal with that anymore right now. Sorry, this isn't flattering. If it wasn't so, I'm like a grandma. I know. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. You didn't see that. Oh well, this stream probably won't work anyways. And honestly, if it doesn't work, I'm fine with that. You know what? The worse I look in this, though, I've said this before in other videos, the worse I do, the worse I look. Upside of that, I want to think it might increase the chances, excuse me, of this posting. You know, it's just how things seem to go for me. It's, if it's gonna, the badder something's gonna be, it'll at least have more of a chance of being. So, yeah, this is great. I feel so sexy right now, as usual. I feel like a superstar, sexy, desirable lass. LASS, okay? There's an L in front of that. Actually, no, remove the L. That's how I feel. And remove all the rest of it that I just said. Or no, don't. Sorry. Don't do that. Or do. I don't, whatever. Whatever. Yeah. And back to the reality, the unfortunate reality for me. I hate to say this. I apologize, but in all honesty, well, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's a likely possibility I probably won't want to do my YouTube very much anymore. Unless my phone goes back to working somehow miraculously, I will not be getting a new phone. But this is just, me trying this out. I don't know if this stream is going to work or not. I never do. I never know. It's a pretty terrible feeling as well to never know if anything's going to work properly, and just there seems to be such a likely chance that nothing ever will or does work properly for me. If the stream goes okay, if it posts okay, if I don't hate it too much, I'll at least probably try for a little while to keep up with my YouTube this way. So there's an upside to me. There are some upsides, right? There could be some upsides to me. Crap, let me just see what's showing on the screen. I don't want anything too inappropriate. Okay, so that's that. Oh, I wanna cover these. I like my little stuffies. Pusheen, and she has different outfits in the closet. She has her own little closet, and yeah, this one has socks. Oh god, such a drag. Um, I do hate this, I'll be honest. How could I not though, right? Um, I have different outfits that I could wear here. If my apartment can not be this cold eventually come spring and summer, I'm assuming at some point for spring and summer, it won't be as cold in here. I'm assuming that will happen. That's one thing I can probably count on other than a bunch of BS with everything. Anyway, I have outfits. With my car, with me doing streams in my car, even last summer, so last summer, I had pretty much run out of different outfits to wear on camera, for my videos. Like, I only have so many clothes, and I've done quite a few videos and quite a few streams. I think this would be my 137th live stream, I'm pretty sure. Um, Possibly 138th, but I'm pretty sure it's 137. Anyways, it's up there. Um, so yeah, but I started my YouTube last summer, and I mean, I started it in August. So even just like August and September wearing my summer clothes for those months, it didn't take me very long to kind of like run out of stuff to wear to where I was gonna have to start wearing like repeats and stuff. And this past winter, especially lately, I've just been pretty much wearing the same exact outfits with very slight variations like over and over. So yeah, whereas if I were to continue to do my YouTube from my laptop like this, I do have a lot of other different types of outfits that I could probably wear on here that I haven't worn before. Um, because I have very different indoor and outdoor clothes. Some of them sometimes will overlap slightly, but for the most part, the clothing that I have for in this apartment, most of it I do not wear outside this apartment because just being out and about in the world makes me feel quite gross. I also feel gross here, of course, but not as bad, I guess, not quite as bad. So, yeah, for the most part, I have indoor clothes and outdoor clothes, and for the most part, they really don't mix very much, or I try not to have them mix too much. Anything that I wear in this apartment, I need to have be pretty freshly laundered. Um, Whereas stuff that I wear out and about, like outside, not so much, other than like the bottom garments. Yeah, outdoor stuff, I'm gonna feel gross anyways being out and about, so I just don't care as much. Anyway, so that could be an upside to me doing streams from my laptop like this, going forward into the future. Another upside I was trying to think about with this is, I'm such a grandma right now. Um, Another upside is the price of gas has gone up, recently where I am. It's gone up by about 50 cents the last week or so. I actually got gas yesterday, and because, I mean, I've been having to get gas a lot more frequently lately, um, just with how much I was doing YouTube videos from my car. So, me doing streams from my car, a lot of my streams are on the longer side, like an hour or longer usually. So, me idling my car for that amount of time, like with the heat on and stuff, and I was burning through a lot more gas that way. So another upside, at least with me not doing streams from my car anymore, and doing them indoors like this, I could hopefully save a little bit on gas compared to before, doing all those streams in there. So yeah, what happened after the gym last night with my YouTube, basically, well, okay, so I had already been having issues. I mean, at least the stream posted okay. I am really thankful that that stream posted okay because I actually liked my outfit in that stream yesterday. Um, and that's an outfit that I wouldn't be able to wear indoors here. I just wouldn't. That's those are outdoor clothes again. Um, but while I was at the gym, I was having issues with my phone. It was kind of interesting because, I've talked lately a lot about how I have a very small handful of apps on my phone. My phone's maxed out on storage, and the few apps that I do have on my phone, YouTube was actually pretty much the only app that had been working properly. Um, this changes all the time. So, I mean, I've had other apps not work pretty recently, like within the past couple of months or few weeks, they come and go. I never know which apps are gonna be working or not. It's always 1 or 2 at a time that aren't working, usually it seems. But within the past few days, maybe a week or so, my YouTube app was working and a lot of the other ones were not. And I was just like, well, I really only cared that much about the YouTube one. I mean, I obviously cared about the other ones too, just not as much. I was like, as long as I can still do my YouTube. Um, but then after my stream yesterday when I was at the gym, I was having to restart my phone a bunch of times because, yeah, other apps were messing up and my photos weren't loading. I mean, you guys can probably see with that video I did yesterday, I was not able to put a title on it or get a thumbnail. And I really was big about getting the thumbnails for those videos that all my videos before doing for my car, I would just get so excited to get a good thumbnail or try to, a thumbnail that I liked. So, because my photos wouldn't load, I hadn't been able to get a thumbnail. Well, I did actually it was weird because I was able to get some screenshots from that video, and I only got 2 screenshots. Usually I get a few more than that. I did get some screenshots that I liked from that. I got 2 of them, and I thought they were pretty cute, and I was really excited to try to put those screenshots as thumbnails, or at least out of the 2, I wanted to obviously pick one of them, but, try them both out and see which one I liked better and pick one and have that be my thumbnail. So, but anyways, again, my photos wouldn't load, so and yeah, the other day, my text message app hadn't been working. There's hardly any apps at all on there. Oh, the other one that hadn't been working lately is the one for that I log in for work at the club, which I was gonna say, it's weird because, yeah, the past few days or week or so, the app that I would try to log in to sign in for a shift at the club hadn't been working. Whereas now, that one's back to working and now my YouTube app is the only since last night, my YouTube or since I had restarted my phone all those times, now it's kind of reversed where my YouTube app is the only app that's not working and all the other ones seem to be working. So now the app that I use to log in for shifts at the club, that's all of a sudden back to working, but now I'm just thinking that app is obviously related to the adult industry, so I'm kind of just drawn to blame the issues on my phone on that app. I'm like, "Well, what if this is just the club messing with my phone? What if it's the club causing all these issues?" But even with that being the case, because I hadn't been able to log into that app at work, um, recently, like the past week or so, and a lot of the managers had been coming up to me like, "Why aren't you logged in on the app?" And it's such a stupid thing to me that we even have to do that in the first place. We already log in. To work at the club, we already sign in with our fingerprint as if we're, like, signing into jail. We pretty much are. No, no, it's not that bad, but, it's like we already have a way to sign in. We already sign in on their computer system with our fingerprints, this digital thing, all post-COVID, by the way. This all became a thing pretty shortly after 2020, go figure. Um, so yeah, I'm already signed in for the shift in their computer system, but for whatever stupid reason, they have this whole separate additional way that you have to sign in from your phone on their app. It's pretty weird, pretty silly. So I had been really worried about that, of course. Um, it seemed like they were kind of letting it slide for 'cause this had only been happening for, like, the past few shifts that I had done. So, luckily, they were being pretty nice about it and just not giving me too much of a hassle about it. But I was obviously worried about it because I was like, "Well, what am I gonna do if this continues?" So but even with me being all anxious about that app possibly being the thing to mess with my phone lately so much, because that app did go back to working finally again last night, I signed in, like, I did a booking, like, I requested to work shifts, like, all for next week. Like, normally when I sign in on their app, when that app does work, like, all up until just the past week, that app had been working for the most part pretty okay on my phone. So, normally when I sign in on that app to do a shift at the club, I request that booking, it's a booking they call it, I request that booking and that shift the same day that I do it. So I pretty much sign into their app right before I go into the club to sign in on their other computer system at the front desk. So it's like a same day, same night kinda thing for me. Whereas now, because that app hadn't been working lately on my phone, and it just finally went back to working again last night, in place of my YouTube apparently, unfortunately, but since that club app had gone back to working, I scrolled forward for, like, future shifts, and I just tried to book as many well, not as many as I could, but I did already in advance book my shifts for next week. So, at least now, if it goes back to not working again, which I'm assuming it probably will, because that seems to be the pattern here, um at least next week, I'm already signed in for. So but, you know, normally when my YouTube app had been working on my phone up until now, I would just be on that app all the time, and now it's like I feel like in place of being on my YouTube app on my phone, anytime that that club app does work, if it keeps working at all ever again, besides just that one time last night or today, I don't know. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna have to, like, try to book my shifts as far in advance as I can. So, like, when I'm not busy on stage at the club, I'll just probably be on the club's app, like, scrolling forward into the future, like, trying to sign in for shifts, like, weeks, months in advance, just in case, because my phone is that messed up and that unreliable to where I never know when it's gonna mess up again with this app or that app. Anyway, so yeah, I had been restarting my phone a bunch of times at the gym last night, and every time I go to restart my phone like that, of course, yes, I get anxious that it's just not gonna restart or not go back on. So, that hadn't happened, thank gosh, so it didn't technically happen last night, but after I was leaving the gym or as I was leaving the gym last night, after already trying to restart it a bunch of times while I was there, I mean, I didn't restart it that many times when I was there because for most of that time I was on the treadmill, but I did because I had gone down to a walking pace towards the end of my workout on the treadmill. The time Yeah, towards the end of that workout while I was walking, that's mostly when I was trying to restart my phone and to try to upload that, uh, one of those 2 screenshots for a thumbnail. But then as I was leaving the gym and getting into my car, when I tried to restart my phone for, like, the 5th or 6th time then, that time when I tried to put it back on after shutting it off, the Apple logo came up on the black screen, and normally when I try to put it back on, it'll show the Apple logo, and then a few moments later, it'll load my phone will just actually come on and load the rest of the stuff. But that time, it was just like a black screen with the white Apple logo, and nothing else was happening. So, I was just like, "Oh crap, this is it. This is the time that my phone doesn't come back on." And I this past Tuesday, sometimes on Tuesdays, there's a lady that works at the club that does tarot cards, and I drew 1 card this past Tuesday, and that card was patience. So I thought back to that, and I was like, "Okay, patience, patience." So, I was in my car last night after the gym, just staring at this black screen with the white Apple logo, not moving, for a few minutes, and I was trying to be patient, of course, because I was like, "Patience, patience, tarot card patience." It still wasn't loading. It was just the same black screen with the white Apple logo. So I was like, "Okay, I'll put my phone back in my bag and just drive, drive back to the apartment or whatever." Um, so I did that, and at that time, well, before I had gone to shut my phone off like that, at the gym, my YouTube was still working. So, it wasn't uploading my pictures to get the thumbnail, but I think that was more because my photo app wasn't working, but my YouTube app was working okay at that time. But then towards the end of my workout, I was so intent on trying to get the thumbnail that because my Photos app wasn't working, I just kept restarting my phone, and then, yeah, by the time I was in my car, I eventually got that black screen where it wasn't my phone wasn't going back on fully. So, yeah, I waited till I got back to the apartment here, and I hadn't really looked at my phone screen anymore. When I saw the black screen with the white Apple logo, that was when I was still in the parking lot at the gym. So I put my phone, yeah, in my bag, drove back to the apartment here. Then when I got back here and parked my car in the driveway, I took my phone back out of my bag to check it, just maybe it had changed by then, and it did. It was back on. So, like, the rest of the stuff had loaded to where I could sign in with the passcode and get to my home screen. So, I went back on my home screen, and the YouTube app on my phone had been offloaded. So, the logo, like, the app was still on the screen, but it wasn't installed, and it said that I had to reinstall it. So, that's never happened before. So, I was like, "Hmm." So so, of course, I just clicked on it to try to reinstall it, and that it said that it was starting the process, it said, like, "Loading, dot, dot, dot," but it didn't really do anything from there. It just kind of stayed like that. Um, so I thought back to the tarot card, patience. I was like, "Alright, patience." Um, so I was already back at the apartment at that point. So I got out of my car, came into the apartment, kept my phone in my bag, just, you know I did, check the work app for the club just out of curiosity to see if that one was back to working, and lo and behold, it was. So that's when I signed in for my shifts for next week in advance, just in case, just while that app was working. But I did think, I was like, "I wonder if this club app has actually been the thing messing with my phone this whole time." Anyway, after I logged in advance for those shifts at the club, I put my phone back in my bag. I thought back to the patient's tarot card. I was like, "All right, I'm just not gonna look at this phone until tomorrow morning," or whenever it was that I was gonna be getting up later. I did intend to do a day shift at the club today, and I still do. Um, Although actually, crap, I'm gonna have to leave pretty soon. Anyway, so yeah, I put my phone back in my bag, didn't look at it for the rest of the night, showered, had some food, and came here on my laptop. Um, I was really I did not think this was gonna happen, but I wanted to try to hope that maybe kind of similar to how the Apple logo had been stuck on my screen for a while for that drive last night, from the drive from the gym back to here. I was like, "Well, that took quite a few minutes. That took, a little while for that to load. Maybe that YouTube app will be kind of the same way, where I just have to not look at it and leave my phone alone for a little while. And maybe when I look at it tomorrow, it'll be loaded." Um, when I got up earlier today, it was not loaded. So, um, I was not surprised by that, but obviously still bummed out and disappointed. So I was like, "All right, upside, let's find the upside here." I was like, I've been telling myself before that maybe I could try to do a stream from my laptop. I guess now would be the time to do it. Again, I really didn't actually want to. But, I was telling you guys yesterday, I was like, "I am gonna do a stream tomorrow for Friday the 13th," and I wanted to stick to that. So, I'm here, I'm doing it. Which reminds me, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get a screenshot for this video, but let's just try it out while I can remember to do so. This would pretty much be my screenshot right here. Let's see if this works. Screenshot. There. Oh my gosh, I think that that might have worked. Oh my gosh. Hmm. Oh god, I don't know anything on computers, I really don't. Hopefully that did work. Oh crap, did I just mess up the stream? Sorry if I messed up the stream. It's probably gonna be messed up anyway, but whatever. If this stream is messed up, I will find the upside, and I think I've already found it. I've already thought about that in advance too. Then I won't have to mess around with this crap anymore. I apologize. Back to that whole reality thing. Usually reality is really not that great, no fun. I think if there's a lesson that we can all take away from me, from my YouTube, sometimes the bad guys do win. That's just life. That's just how it is sometimes. They've been winning for a while. And I guess that's oh crap. You can't see the whole thing. It said TED, like TED Talks, or it was only half, so it doesn't count. It's only half. If you rip a dollar bill in half, or like if a dollar bill is ripped, what I've heard the rule is if there's more than half of the dollar bill still left, you can still spend it. It still counts as currency. They have to take it. If it's less than half of the dollar bill, it won't work. If it's more than half, or if it's half or more, or if it's I don't know if it's more than half, you can still spend that money, the bill. So I don't know if that was more or less than half of the logo. I don't know if that applies here in this. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I appreciate the views, the likes, the subscribers so much. If I do struggle with all the stuff that I struggle with, like with my laptop and my phone and just basically everything. Yes, I've mentioned before, I often question if any of that is actually real or if it's just made up numbers by the bad guys. Just just so I continued to make a complete arse of myself like this. But if that is real people that are, like, watching and subscribing, I appreciate that so much, and I don't wanna, like, let you guys down and, like I really do I really it really bugs me how so many of my videos, so much of what I talk about must probably come across as kinda negative, and I mean, I guess on the up hand, it gives me stuff to talk about, but I kind of I feel like I have stuff to talk about anyways, you know what I mean? So it's like but so much of my streams and my videos, I'm just talking about all the issues that I have on my YouTube, just trying to stream in the first place, and that's no fun. Like, so what if it gives me more content, like topics to talk about? It's not what I want to be talking about. You know what I mean? It's not what I want to be spending my time on or talking about. And I apologize to you guys for that because I want to give you guys better content. I want to give you guys or it shouldn't even be for other people. This channel is supposed to be for me, really, too. Like, first and foremost, it's supposed to be for me. So but now, again, like, if I do actually have real subscribers, like, real viewers and people watching me and supporting me that way, then it does become about you guys too, of course, and if that is really the case, I don't wanna let you guys down, and I don't wanna be I wanna try to stay positive for you guys, and I don't wanna be a bummer, of course, but well, I'm not gonna say anything like a this or that with this right now. We'll just see how it goes, I guess. If the stream posts, okay, who knows? I don't know, I mean, if it does post though, even if it does post, I feel like it would probably be one of those things where it's like kinda like with my YouTube on my phone. Like, with me starting my YouTube on my phone, I was so worried about that, and I was so worried about anytime that stuff has posted properly or has worked on my phone, I'm, like, amazed. I'm so shocked and surprised and amazed by it. But the issues on my phone were just getting so much more frequent and difficult. Well, yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of streams in the past not post properly, but so lately, the past week or so, most of my streams had been finally posting pretty good. Then, on the other hand, pretty much everything else in my phone was messing up way more. So it's always something, you know what I mean? Um, so now, like me, if I'm gonna be trying to do streams on my laptop like this, again, my laptop's already messed up too, but I'm just kind of worried, like, oh, even if this stream posted or like a few streams on my laptop after this, I feel like it would quite likely kind of be the same thing where it might work the first time or a few times to start off. Just another example of the bait and switch kind of theme that I've had going on with a lot of stuff. It seems, it'll maybe seem to work at first or be okay at first. And then as time goes on, the more invested, the more time that I spend, the more money I spend, the more invested I become in this, you know, like I'll be honest, I'll probably be ending the stream and going to work at the club pretty shortly, and I would be amazed if me coming back to this apartment later in doing that, after the stream, I'll be logging off the laptop and shutting off the laptop, and also going as far as to put this laptop in my fridge, which is shut off, as I mentioned, and locking it up in there. But me getting back from the club later tonight, assuming that I do so, um, I would be amazed if my laptop even comes back on, you know what I mean? Like, with my phone being the way it's been, is my laptop even gonna work later? You know what I mean? Like, or going into the future, I feel like the more the more I try to do my YouTube on my laptop now, excuse me, the more it's probably only a matter of time until my laptop breaks too. Which, you know what? You know what? Okay, upside to me trying to do streams right here, I have wood to knock on. I don't have wood to knock on when I'm in my car, streaming from my car. However, I have a wooden desk right here that my laptop's on. I can just knock away on this wood everything that I say, pretty much, or try to say. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was already worried about my laptop before. I always am. It frequently messes up too, very, very often. But if I'm gonna be trying to do my YouTube from this laptop, I'm gonna be even more worried about this laptop. So, um, on that note, if assuming that if I am going to continue to try to do YouTube from this laptop, I think what I'm probably gonna end up doing, if I do end up doing that, I'll probably try to finally get around to making a separate Facebook page for this channel, or honestly, I might even just make a separate channel. I already have a separate Facebook account. Or I'm sorry. What? No. Oh, no, I don't. I don't have a Facebook account for this channel yet. I already have a separate YouTube account. Um, like, normally when I'm on my laptop like this, I am on YouTube, but I'm on a different account, and that other account is just for recreational, like, just for me to I don't stream on there. or I haven't ever streamed on there before. It's just been for me to watch other stuff, pretty much recreationally. Um, but if I were to continue to try to do YouTube from my laptop going into the future, I think I might actually start streaming from that other account or from another YouTube account. I will probably still try to do this one too, but for certain things, like if I were to try to make another, or if I it's really cold in here, and if I were to try to make a Facebook account to link with one or both of my YouTube channels, I think I would actually probably wanna have that Facebook account mentioned or advertised, let's just say mentioned, okay? Mentioned on the other channel, because I really don't want to put this channel at more risk than it already probably is, like, you know what I mean? I have so many live videos on this channel that I've put so much time and so much effort, so much work into, and so many of them have not posted properly originally, or just in general. I've had to redo so many of them. Um, I've invested a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of effort into this particular channel. Um, and I just that's the main reason I haven't tried to make a Facebook page for this channel, or mention the where else you could find me online, the other website that I've tried to stream on before, where I might actually be able to get some tips, and because I don't know how to really try to get tips on YouTube, and I really don't want to, but not with my YouTube anyways. With the other website that I'm on, it's made for that, so, like, kinda specifically. So there, the other website that I have been on before, I would absolutely want to make money on there, absolutely. Um, Whereas on my YouTube, I just don't really want to have to fumble around with trying to do that. I already have so much stress and so much struggle just trying to stream on YouTube in the first place, you know what I mean? So, and yeah, I don't wanna have to put this channel that I'm on and that I've been on so far streaming, at any more risk with stuff. So, to anybody out there that might actually really wanna follow me and, like, really be interested, if such a thing were to exist, um, possibly, I think that's what I might try to do is, yeah, maybe just also stream from the other YouTube account that I have, and not advertise, mention, like, make a Facebook page, for this kinda stuff, and mention that Facebook page on my other channel. So that other channel can be the one to take the risk, you know what I mean? Rather than this one as much, I don't know. Yeah, I know a lot of other YouTube channels have, like, so many, like, millions sometimes, like, just so many subscribers, but for me, even just having the, like, 1,000 or so subscribers that I have on this channel right now, those subscribers mean everything to me, and okay, not everything, but they mean a lot, and the other website that I've tried streaming on before, the one where I could get tips, in my chat room on that website, I think part of the reason I've never done very well on there, I would have, like, 1 or 2 people in my chat room at a time. I would have, f 4 or 5 would be considered a lot of viewers for me to have at any given time in my chat room on that website. Whereas I have 15 viewers in here right now, apparently. So, I just checked, okay, 12. So I just moved the timestamp. I'll just leave that off for now because I think I'm coming to the end of the stream because I'm gonna have to be leaving for work pretty soon at the club. So, I mean, I already just now in this it looks like on the top of the screen that I just uncovered for myself. Yeah, I already have more viewers in here right now just doing this than I would ever, like, see on that other site that I'm on. And that's a cool feeling because, yeah, honestly, I feel I'm so thankful for the support that I have had on this channel and on this, like, on YouTube. Um, and if I could maybe try to direct that to people that might be interested onto the other site that I'm on, where I could actually maybe, like, generate some kind of, you know, financial help that way, that would really be amazing. 'Cause, yeah, I have been struggling for a long time, and I don't know, I don't wanna on that other website that I'm on or that I've been on, I wouldn't feel comfortable it is an adult website, I've mentioned, so I just wouldn't be comfortable talking like this on there and being this honest and revealing this much of myself. Physically physically, I've revealed a lot of myself on that site and a lot more of myself, being an adult website. But I would never feel comfortable talking like this on that website. I would never feel comfortable sharing this much of myself on that website, not even close. I don't know what to say or what to do on there. Um, but if I knew or even thought that maybe some of the people that have been subscribers on my channel here would watch me over there, there's a part of me that would be really freaked out about it and really, like, especially at first, but then I want to think I might be able to just eventually have fun with it and try to get comfortable with it and, yeah, maybe try to show a sexier side of myself where I don't have to worry as much about everything that I say and do and show, like, having to keep it so, like, vanilla and, like, PG, if not G, like, rated, you know what I mean? Like, again, it is an adult site, but I'm not really that risque on that website compared to a lot of other people that stream on there, I feel like. Obviously, I'd be more risque than I am on here, but I feel like I'm somewhere in the middle, you know what I mean? I've seen some pretty extreme things on that website, mostly in the past, though, mostly, like, a long time ago, like, over 10 years ago when I was first becoming aware of that website and when I was first signing up on there. Whereas nowadays, I still see stuff on there, but not to the extent that I used to years ago. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, I wanna think that I wouldn't have to be too crazy on there or step too far away like, out of my boundaries, you know what I mean? Like, I wanna think I could just still be myself kind of like I am on here, but if anything, more myself where I don't have to worry as much about, yeah, keeping it so G-rated and, like, PG on YouTube, like, where I have to watch everything that I say and do and make sure it's not coming across too, like, crazy, you know what I mean? Like, too sexualized or that kinda thing. Um, anyway, um oh, also before I forget, so, yeah, I was saying how it looks like my YouTube app on my phone looks like it kind of was just offloaded by itself or by someone or something else. I certainly did not upload that app on purpose myself. I would never do a thing like that. But I'm trying not to freak out too much because I have seen again, I don't have very many apps on my phone, but I do have a few, like, I have, Shazam and Snapchat are 2 that I really like, but my Snapchat has offloaded itself in the past, and, like, even currently right now, my Snapchat is technically on my home screen, but it's not installed. So, Snapchat is another app that has just, yeah, uploaded itself not of my own doing before. So, just out of to try to, like, test things out a little bit, out of curiosity, I am going to try to make a point to remember, excuse me, to reinstall my Snapchat to probably today. I'm probably gonna do that shortly after I log off here and, on my way to work and stuff, just out of because I want to see, like, out of curiosity, I want to see it would be more suspicious and more strange to me and more concerning, definitely, if my Snapchat app did reinstall. Because if my Snapchat app were to reinstall properly, that would be even stranger to me, like, why my YouTube wouldn't be reinstalling. Whereas if my Snapchat app does not reinstall, then at least it would make more sense to me with my YouTube app not reinstalling, because then I can just assume that it's, again, another issue with storage on that phone. Um, oh, and which also reminds me, I've talked a lot before about how I just don't wanna get a new phone because I just don't wanna spend the money. I barely have an income. I I've been living off of savings for a while and at a pretty extreme cost to my quality of life. It's because I'm trying to cut costs and cut corners in any way that I can in order to try to make the savings that I have last as long as possible, because there really isn't anything coming in. I know that probably sounds weird coming from a stripper because of the stereotype, like, but I don't do well at the club that I work at. Never really have. It's a long story there. I've talked about it a lot in many of my other videos, so I don't really wanna elaborate on that right now, but I really don't wanna get a new phone. And it's not even just the money, it's also, like, the entire process. It's the hassle, it's switching everything over. I have such a, uh, difficult, challenging time with any device, technology, and computers type stuff, and just, it's all just a very difficult, confusing hassle to me. But also, yes, of course, the money as well. But I actually have I thought today, I actually have an older phone. This is but this is, like, adding to why I don't wanna have to get a new one, because I have an older phone that I've never really used. I got it many, many, many years ago, back when I had the phone that I had before the one that I have now. So, again, many, many years ago, I had also gotten a second phone, and that second phone was supposed to be just for pictures. Um, but I don't think that second phone was ever even really connected to the internet or to a phone service. Again, it was pretty much supposed to be just for pictures. But I mean, yeah, it hasn't been charged for a while, but that's another thing that I wanted to try to do today. I really wanna try to remember to bring that with me into the club so I can try to charge it at the club sometime today and just see if it will still come on and still charge, because if so, I mean, I really would wanna think, like, why couldn't I just use that phone? Like, why there was there were some pictures on it, but not nearly as many as I have on the phone that I have now that I've been using for a while. There shouldn't be that much storage space taken up on that phone because I really didn't use it very much. Yeah, just with the way things are nowadays, I would highly doubt that that would be an option. They just pretty much wanna force people into having to buy new stuff that they really shouldn't need, it seems like. Some people love that. They want to if they have the money to spend, they wanna get new stuff. I'm the opposite. I don't have the money to spend, and I don't wanna get new stuff. I just wanna keep what I have, that's it, really, like, but anyways, yeah, it's like I have a phone. I have a that phone is it should be in pretty much mint new condition practically, like, if I could just charge it back up, I wanna think I could at least try to take it to an Apple store or the place where I have my phone service and just see what they say. Although I'm pretty sure I know what they're gonna say for the most part, like, it's not gonna work, but who knows? I could at least it's something I could at least try to do. Um, yeah, this really is a bummer. I such a big part of me doing my YouTube from my phone and from my car, it was like a way to get me out of this apartment, you know what I mean? It was something I could look forward to doing, like, being out and about, like, going out to face the day and to go to work and do stuff, you know? Whereas here in this apartment, I'm thankful to have the roof over my head. I love to sleep here. I love to sleep here, but I really just don't feel comfortable trying to work here or, like, do very many things here. Even just me sitting where I'm sitting here, this is very uncomfortable for me, like, it's I added this is not where I sleep, by the way. I have a different bed. This is pretty much just where I used to stream on the other site that I was on. I don't know, I really love doing YouTube from my car, I really do. I wanna think I could try to make this work. I don't know, we'll see. I've never liked the lighting in here. I certainly don't like it right now, at all. Um, I don't like the image being flipped around. What else did I write down? I don't think there's anything else on that page. Well, the radio didn't come on by itself. I was saying a lot lately and, like, when I've been in my car lately, the radio in my car has been coming on by itself. Um, that's happened twice in recent videos of recent streams that I've done. So, yeah, the radio that I have in this apartment, it is plugged in right now, because normally I would have it on when I'm anytime that I'm not sleeping pretty much, when I'm, like, getting ready for work and especially so, hey, that radio didn't come on by itself, so that's something, right? Okay. 2 other things right now real quick before I log off from this. We're about to be at an hour and a half for this stream, assuming that it would actually post. Um, anyone that might have watched me before, what was I just saying in recent videos? I was saying in a very recent video how anytime that I try to do something, like, good for myself, something bad, you know, it's so lately, I've actually been doing pretty good, I want to think alright, not pretty good, but lately, I feel like I've been doing better with my diet and my exercise. Because, like yeah, I was saying earlier how within the past couple of weeks, I've finally been able to get back into going to the gym now and then after having not been at all this winter. And also I tried to start, you know, uh, basically going on a little bit of a spring diet, you know, for the upcoming warmer months, back in February. So I wanna think I've been doing a little bit better with my diet and my exercise lately. But anytime that is the case, anytime that I feel like I'm making progress or doing well with stuff like that, something bad's gonna happen because that's just how it's seemed to go for a while for me. Um, like last summer I felt like I was doing really good at the gym, and that's a time in particular where I was noticing a lot of stuff going missing from my car. So, me lately, because I feel like I've been doing better with my diet and my exercise lately, I was putting all of my favorite stuff other here at this apartment, the stuff that's my favorite stuff here, I lock in the fridge, but as far as in my car, for stuff that I wear and use for my shifts at the club the most, that stuff I was putting in this bag, and, it was becoming this big, heavy bag, added on to the big heavy backpack that I already lug around everywhere that I go already. So this other additional big heavy bag full of mostly clothes and a few other, like, accessories and things like that, I haven't been leaving that in my car. I've been trying not to, because again, me doing better with my diet and exercise, I'm even more worried about anything that I leave in my car unattended, not on my person, possibly going missing. So that bag full of clothes and stuff, I've been lugging around with me everywhere that I go, into the grocery stores, into the gym, just trying to keep on my person, as much as I can. So, yeah, it's like, m obviously Friday the 13th is one thing to kind of, like, match up with this timing with my YouTube not working on my phone. Like, "Oh, my YouTube all of a sudden doesn't work on my phone, and it's Friday the 13th, go figure." But also, it's like, who or whatever has been harassing me for so long, it feels like, well, they know that I'm keeping my favorite stuff on my person as best I can, so they can't take stuff out of my car. They can still obviously take plenty of stuff out of my car, but not my favorite stuff. Like, my favorite stuff is being kept on me for the most part as much as I can. So they're like, "Alright, well, that's not as much of an option to mess with her that way, so now we got the YouTube being messed up on my phone." I don't know. It's just kind of it's weird to me, it is. Is it really a coincidence? I don't know, but and what was the other thing? Oh, it also it does irk me also though because I am somebody that tries so hard to have peace in my life. I have been staying at this apartment by myself um for about 10 years, over 10 years now, actually. Um I have been single since 2012, which is 14 years, going on almost 15 years of being single. There's not many people that I talk to or hang out with, because I've just learned the hard way many times in the past that other people tend to come with a whole lot of BS, and it, for the most part, just really has interrupted my ability to feel at peace. Um, that's just the result that I usually tend to get from trying to have people in my life and trying to do pretty much anything. Like, but it's like before I was in this apartment, I was at a different apartment where I had many roommates, and there were so many issues with those roommates. It was a nightmare, and I was not ever able to really feel peaceful or at peace with that situation. And when I ended up moving out of there, it was very last minute, very unplanned, unorganized. I ended up losing a lot of my stuff, having to leave a lot of my stuff behind. I was standing in the middle of the street with all of my belongings in my hands, dropping stuff into the street, in the middle of the night. It was that bad. And didn't have anywhere to go. Ended up staying with a cab driver who was coming into the club that I work at and staring at me getting naked on stage, like, at the strip club a lot of time. It was a very bad situation, very uncomfortable. He wasn't a bad guy, I don't think. He was still a nice guy, and I was thankful to him for letting me stay with him for a couple of months in between apartments, while I was in between apartments. But again, he was coming into the club while I was working and just kind of staring at me weird, and it was just a weird vibe, weird situation. So, but yeah, I really feel like I make quite an effort to try to kind of be like a minimalist and just keep things as simple as I can. Not really have very many people in my life or in my space because they just seem to interrupt my peace or my whatever shred of peace I might be able to try to find or have for any given moment in time. But it's like people just aren't allowed to be at peace until they're literally resting in peace, apparently, if that's even a thing either. It's like peace is just not allowed, is it? Or like in a personal way, like personal peace for people as individuals. Because now it's like, yeah, I try to have peace that way in my life, but it's like, so instead, I have all of this noise and distraction and difficulty and issues coming at me through my phone, through my devices, through the internet with my laptop and my phone, just being messed with that way and other ways too, obviously, like I was kind of mentioning, but it's like one way or another, it's just so difficult to just have peace. Really, it feels like it's like someone or something, as much as I try to stay to myself and be independent and mind my own business and just of course, I don't always wanna have to do things on my own, but I've kind of just resorted to feeling like I pretty much have to do things on my own, again, in order to avoid other people's BS and ulterior motives or hidden agendas, that kind of thing. Just their drama and their BS that can come with a lot of people, having people in your life. So, me trying so hard to avoid other people and their crap like that, it's like someone or something is still messing with me and inserting themselves, it feels like, into my personal space and my whatever ability I would have otherwise maybe been able to have to try to get a sense of peace and personal space. And it's like I'm not allowed to have that. It's just every part of me, it feels like, is just up for the rest of the world to just grab at and take and use in whatever way they pretty much want to do. It's like nothing is sacred, nothing is personal, nothing's gonna matter for me. I don't know. It's like I well, I gotta go to work, I guess. It's 11 o'clock on the dot. I started the stream at 9:22. I really hope that the YouTube app on my phone does eventually reinstall, like, load and reinstall and get back to working. Um, However, I do have my doubts as to whether that's actually gonna be possible or ever happen. So, um, yeah, going forward from here, I don't know. Um, we'll see how it goes, I guess. But I will say for now, um, even just on this little vegetable wrapper, I did say most of what I wanted to say that I had written down for this, but there's still a few things that I didn't get to that I'm gonna, I guess, have to save for next time. Because yeah, I'm gonna be leaving to go to the club pretty soon, so um, so also with that being the case, I really don't think I'm gonna have time to check on this stream, you know, add a thumbnail or try to, see if it posts properly. I probably won't be able to get around to trying to do that until later on tonight after I get back from the club. So that's a very anxiety-inducing feeling for me. Mm, and yeah, honestly, I'm gonna be especially worried as to whether my laptop even comes on later tonight. If it doesn't if my laptop doesn't work later tonight, I guess this is goodbye, guys. I'm sorry. I hope it's not. I really hope it's not. Gosh, that would really be awful. Um, oh man. Please no. But, well, I guess just in case, I should thank the people that did seem like maybe they were trying to reach out and support me and watch and subscribe and stuff like that. I really do appreciate you guys, and I wish it didn't have to be this difficult. I wish I could have more positive, happy things to talk about with you guys. I really do. I'll also say that if my laptop does work later when I get back from work later, I might even just try to log back on. Um, like, if my laptop does work later, if I check on the stream and it actually does post, then in that case, I would probably want to try to come back on later tonight, possibly, or maybe tomorrow, um, because there's still stuff on this piece of paper that I wanna talk about, and I also still have a piece of paper from yesterday with stuff on it that I wanna talk about. In addition to the many, many 22, 23 plus papers that I that's just one section. The 22, 23 section of papers that I have of notes for video for upcoming stuff, and then towards the back of my backpack, I have a whole other section of like an envelope full of all other notes, additional papers of notes of stuff that I wanna talk about. So, yeah, I do really hope as much as I don't like how I look on this screen right now and on this I still hope this post's okay because I still wanna come back on and keep trying to do this with you guys, and I still have a lot that I do wanna try to talk about. Anyways, before I log off, I just wanna show this because I've always really liked this, I think it's so cute. It's supposed to be the little mice from Cinderella. I'm pretty sure it's hand painted. I got it on Amazon so many years ago. Um, and then I added this little bunny, and then I also added this little it's a cigarette pen. It's actually the tip comes off, and it's a pen underneath. But I don't smoke cigarettes, but I still think it's cute. And yeah, this just makes me smile. Just like a happy little trinket that I have that I wanted to try to show you guys. Just it cheers me up. It's kinda like me wearing my earmuffs in my car. Like, when I wear my earmuffs, it cheers me up. When I look at that, it cheers me up. So, anyways, and then I very closely personally relate to this coffee mug of mine. Um, anyways, I am off to go do my Friday the 13th day shift at the club. So, at least I've already signed in on the app, so I don't have to worry about that one thing at least. And anyway, I'm gonna log off on here for now, but if this does post okay, and if my laptop does miraculously work later when I get back from work and back from the club later tonight, I will definitely be trying to come back on again with you guys pretty soon. Um, See, I have Tinka wait, it's that side. Tinka in the back there. Um, yeah, well, thanks for watching. Bye for now, guys. It's kind of like an earmuff. It's kind of like almost like a smaller singular earmuff puff back there. Let's try to get that in the shot. Okay, bye.